by the fruit. Let's look at verse 35. A good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth good things, and an evil man out of the evil treasure bringeth forth evil things. We have one or the other. We have opposites in the Bible. You are either for God or you're against him. Now, let's go to John chapter 15. We shall read from verse 18. John 15, reading from verse 18, our subject is, I hate you. Or if that is too strong, I do not love you. Same thing. John 15, reading from verse 18. The Bible says, if the world hate you, ye know it hated me before it hated you. Verse 19. If ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will persecute you also. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. Verse 22, if I had not spoken unto them, they had not had sin. But now they have no cloak for their sin. Listen to verse 23. He that doeth what? He that hateth me, hateth my Father also. If I had not done among them, verse 24, the works which none other man did, they had not had sin. But now have they both seen and hated both me and my Father. Let's pause and look at that passage again. We have come across the word hate quite a few times in that passage. It is possible to hate God. Let's look at verse 24 closely. If I had not done among them the works which none other man did, they had not had sin. But now have they both seen and hated both me and my Father. Verse 25. But this cometh to pass that the word might be fulfilled that is written in their law. Finish the verse. They hated me how? Without a cause. Jesus said, when you hate me without a cause. How is it possible to hate Christ? How is it possible to hate God? The Bible says we hate him without a cause. But how do we hate God? Using the law of opposites, let's first find out how we love God. Are you with me? Using the law of opposites, let's find out how we love God. Then we'll just flip it and we will know how we hate God. Let's go to John 14. Same book of John. By the way, if you want a book of the Bible to read and really be blessed, read the Gospel of John. John is a gospel of love. You can read John, read 1 John, 2 John, 3 John, and the book of Revelation, all written by the same man. John 14, verse 15. Say it with me if you have it. If ye love me, finish it, keep my commandments. How do we love God? Give me one word, 4 letters. One word, 4 letters. We obey. Listen to Christ, not me. If you say you love me, show it. How? By obeying me. Obedience is the expression of love to God. Now let us flip that. How do we show hatred for God? Disobedience. Regardless of what our lips say. That's why Jesus said, this people honoreth me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. My beloved brothers and sisters, listen carefully. There is one way to show love for God, and that is obedience. Is the only way the Bible identifies as a proper expression of love, and that is obey. Turn that over. The only way to hate God is to disobey. Now listen again to verse 24. Verse 25. That it might be fulfilled that is written in their law, they hated me without a cause. Now let me see if you're thinking. I know it's chilly, not that chilly, it was chilly yesterday, but try to answer me correctly. How do we hate God? Disobedience. Now listen to verse 25. They hated me without what? A cause. Which means there is never a good reason to disobey God. It's always safe to assume everyone didn't get it. Let me repeat. How do we hate God? Disobedience. Now listen to the Bible. They hated me. Put another word for hated. They disobeyed me not as an accident, as a lifestyle. They disobeyed me without a cause. But the Bible is saying no one ever has a good reason to disobey God. No one. Now, we're always manufacturing reasons. I have 3 children. My husband left me, so I can't return the tithe. You're disobeying God without a cause. Having 3 children and no husband is no reason to withhold the tithe. You're hating God without a cause. I've applied for work all over Kenya. All the jobs require work on Sabbath. I have debts to pay back. I have to work on Sabbath. You are hating God without a cause. My brothers and sisters, if I appear to be a little bold, forgive me. I want you to get this. It must sink right down to the subconscious. There is no reason you can present to God to explain disobedience. None. They hated me. They disobeyed me without a cause. The Bible says disobedience has no justification. Let me give you a practical example of that. Go with me to John chapter 19. We shall read from verse 5. Our subject is, I hate you. And that's what we say to God when we actively and deliberately disobey. I am not referring to accidental disobedience or disobedience out of ignorance. I mean willful disobedience. John 19, reading from verse 5, our subject is, I hate you. Then came Jesus forth, wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe. And Pilate saith unto them, Behold the man. When the chief priests therefore and officers saw him, they cried out, saying, Crucify him, crucify him. Pilate saith unto them, Take ye him and crucify him. Finish the verse. For I find no fault. What is Pilate saying? I have no what? No reason to do what? Kill this man. The Jews wanted him killed without what? A reason. Pilate said he has no fault. By the way, Pilate said that 3 times between John 18 and 19. 3 times he said, I find no fault in him. In other words, he does not deserve death. The Jews said, kill him. Is that love or hatred? Give me one word. That's hatred. Did they have a cause? No. The Bible says they hate me without a cause. Hatred for God is expressed in disobedience. Because love is expressed in obedience. But here is the danger of hating God. Hatred for God leads to the attempted murder of God. Let's go to 1 John chapter 3. 1 John 3. Let's read from verse 14. I just said hatred of God leads to murder. If we could get our hands on God. Someone who hates God must bring that to the ultimate expression by trying